Since the beginning of human existence, we have always looked up and explored space. However, we haven't always shown the same level of interest in the vast bodies of water that make up the majority of our planet. Yet, there are so many creatures in the depths of those waters, and one of them is the stingray. Moreover, you don't need to venture into deep waters to see a stingray, as sometimes you can spot them just by looking from the shore. Stingrays have been inhabiting our waters for millions of years, since the time of dinosaurs. During this long period, they haven't been idle and have evolved into hundreds of different species. Each species has its own unique characteristics, size, and habits. So, whatever you know about these creatures, rest assured there is more to learn. Let's dive into the extraordinary world of stingrays and discover some interesting facts about them. 1. Stingrays actually fly in the water. Occasionally, they rise above the water like flying fish, but even when we consider their overall swimming style, we can see that it differs from other fish. Stingrays undulate their bodies up and down while swimming. When observed from a distance, this undulating motion resembles the flapping of a bird's wings. Although it varies among species, the average speed of a stingray is about 1.35 kilometers per hour. However, when they maintain a consistent speed, they can migrate up to 850 kilometers. 2. Stingrays, relatives of sharks, have been around since the dinosaur era. At first glance, they may not seem to have much in common with sharks, but stingrays are actually close relatives of them. Both have cartilaginous skeletons instead of bones, and they possess special senses that collect signals from their surroundings while hunting. Like sharks, stingrays have been around for a long time. In 2019, a group of researchers discovered a stingray fossil that was 50 million years old. The research also found traces of a major extinction event on the stingray. 3. Stingrays bury themselves under the sand to sleep. Stingrays bury themselves nicely under the sand and sleep in this position. They hide so well that sometimes people accidentally step on them. If you think these creatures that live at the level of sand feed on algae or similar things, you are mistaken because stingrays are carnivorous animals. However, they don't make big catches like sharks. They feed on crustaceans, small fish, and worms. Observations have shown that stingrays prey on 65 different species. 4. There are hundreds of different species of stingrays. Stingrays, which have existed for millions of years, have naturally spread to almost all of the world's oceans, seas, lakes, and rivers. Yes, stingrays also live in freshwater because there are 220 different identified species of stingrays to date. Each of them has its own unique characteristics. Some live in freshwater, some are spotted, some are very large, and some are very small. Among them, a species known as the small-eyed stingray is one of the rarest to be seen. 5. Stingrays can be very, very large. The smallest identified stingray to date is a creature called the small-nosed stingray, measuring 10 centimeters in length and weighing 400 grams. However, there is a species living in the oceans called the manta ray, which truly has an astonishing size. The wingspan of a manta ray can reach approximately 7 meters, and its weight can reach up to 2 tons. 6. The relationship between stingrays and humans is somewhat complicated. If we categorize poisonous stingrays separately, just like we do with sharks, stingrays do not pose a significant threat to humans. In fact, especially in the United States, many aquariums organize activities where people swim with stingrays. According to experts working in these types of aquariums, stingrays enjoy swimming with humans and do not suffer any harm. However, the opposite of this claim may also be true. In a Chicago aquarium where people regularly interacted with 42 stingrays, 34 of them died for unknown reasons. Perhaps we are the ones who are truly toxic to them, and this is a subject that needs to be investigated. 7. Stingrays have natural navigation abilities. As we mentioned, stingrays perceive their surroundings with a special sensor similar to their relatives, sharks. scientists took it a step further and wanted to test the stingray's ability to detect magnetic fields. In a study conducted in 2020, it was discovered that stingrays indeed detect an existing geomagnetic field and, furthermore, use it as a reference point to determine their direction through natural navigation systems. We have discussed some extraordinary information about stingrays, one of the most mysterious creatures of the oceans. While we are barely familiar with a species that we could even see on the shore if we wanted, who knows what we will encounter when we dive into the deep waters.